the slide, so I will be moving here and there. So the way it would work today is the presentation will be given here through the slides, and after that we'll have the question and answer session. So, as far as I'm aware that you have chosen the topic prayer in Islam, and I believe that you will be having a tour in Islamic Cultural Center of Ireland in Clonsey. When is that date? Monday. Next week, Monday. Yes. Then you better study well. However, I will try my best to make it easier for you. Okay, so it is divided into different sections. Prayer in Islam. First, importance. Then you have what we call the section names of the prayers. Then what and how the prayers are done. You would come across this. So these are the statements that you can see. First and foremost, prayer occupies a great status in Islam that is not shared by any other act of worship. The importance of prayer cannot be understated. As you know, Allah says in the Quran, and established a prayer for my remembrance. So the whole purpose of prayer is to remember Allah, remember the God, the creator of all the universe. It is not just for us Muslims. Nations before Islam, whether it was the nation of Judaism, nation of Christianity, and all the prophets before Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, were sent. Their mission was to remind people to worship Allah so that they remember. Because prayer ultimately would lead to either good or bad ending. So if you are doing the prayers the way it's supposed to be done in Islam, then you will have the good result. If you are doing the prayers not the way it's supposed to be, then the result is bad. The prophetic statement, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, the first matter that the servant will be brought to account on the day of judgment, on the day of resurrection, is the prayer. So after declaring the faith, or the declaration of faith, or testifying the faith, this is the most important part for Muslims. If someone misses this part, then the consequence is really severe. That is why Prophet Muhammad said, if it is sound, meaning if it is in a good situation, then the rest of his actions or the deeds will be sound. And if it is bad, then the rest of his deeds will be bad. No matter what actions one performs in his life, the most important aspect is one's relationship with Allah, God. That is, number one, faith. The Arabic word for that is here, iman. God consciousness, taqwa. Sincerity, ikhlas. Worship of Allah, ibadah. So 4 things. So eventually, all these 3 will lead to this part. And this relationship with Allah is both demonstrated and put into practice. Not just to show off, not just to say that I pray, but in reality it is the other way around. But here, when you know the theory, when you combine it with the practice, then it will be improved and increased only if there is sincerity, only if there is faith, only if there is God consciousness, believing that someone is watching over me. The hadith, again, the prophetic statement by a companion of Prophet Muhammad, Mu'adh bin Jabal, may Allah be pleased with him. This is next.
It's very fancy.
I know. I'm getting it. Okay. As here it shows that Prophet Muhammad says, shall I not tell you of the head of the whole matter and its pillar and the top? The companion replied, yes, O Messenger of Allah. Then Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that the head of the matter is Islam, its pillar is the prayer, and its top is jihad. Now, don't be frightened with the word jihad here. The word jihad literally means striving for the best. Remember that. Striving for the best, ultimate, positivity. Not the other way around, that the way that media portrays nowadays. And this word here, recorded by Tirmidhi, he was one of the scholars that recorded all the prophetic statements, all the prophetic actions, all the prophetic approvals. So one of the recorders is Tirmidhi. Now, these are the names of the prayers, as you can see. And I would suggest you, if you can write it down, if you have copies, because you might be asked about these questions. If not, the slides will be provided later on. So 5 daily prayers that are obligatory. Forget about the letter U, please. It was just came out of nowhere. Upon every Muslim. The name of the prayer: Fajr, dawn prayer in English. Dhuhr, noon prayer. The prayer, this is basically at least 45 minutes before the sunrise. This one is
touch screen.
I like that. I like that. This one, the Dhuhr noon prayer, is just 30 minutes after the midday, give or take, or when you see the sun is straight above your head, but you can see your own shadow. That is when the noon prayer starts. As for the Asr, the afternoon prayer, it is approximately 90 minutes or 120 minutes, meaning 2 hours before the sunset. This is the sunset prayer. As soon as the sun is down, you pray this. And this prayer, the night prayer, must be prayed 90 minutes after the sunset prayer, when you can see that the sky is fully covered with darkness. Now this one, here is star mark. Today is Friday. Instead of having the Dhuhr prayer, we're going to have this Friday. And the Friday prayer consists of having a sermon or a speech before that in one sitting, and after that 2 units of prayer. Next? No? Okay. Now these are other prayers. Could be occasional, to name it. Eid prayers, we have 2 Eid prayers in the whole year. Eid al-Fitr is done when we fast 29 or 30 days. After that, it is a gift from Allah for us to rejoice. And that is the prayer. As for Eid al-Adha, this was in the last Arabic month. It was basically the prayer that we had just a few weeks back. It was a prayer of rejoicing the happiness that God brought us to the place called Mecca, where people gather, more than 20 million people gathered to do the pilgrimage. And on the 10th day of the 12th lunar month, we do the Eid al-Adha prayer. As for this one, it is done on the first day of the 10th month, which is Shawwal. Now these two, prayer during the solar or lunar eclipse, Khusuf. This is something most of us are not aware of. Khusuf, this was done because Prophet Muhammad in his lifetime also saw the lunar eclipse, also saw the solar eclipse as well. And a couple of months back, we also had a lunar eclipse, and we have been through this prayer. This prayer is rather longer, depending on how long the eclipse lasts. Now this one is Istikhara. As you can see, the prayer is done when one is taking an important decision in his life. Of course, we have one lady, so in this case, in her life, it could be. So this is something of importance, but again, that is not daily to be done. Al-Haja, the prayer of need, then the Janaza funeral prayer. These are the words in Arabic. On the right side, I put the English meaning of it. Now, types of the prayer. So, number one, you have Fard, which is the compulsory prayer. And it is so, by the way, all these prayers are done for Allah, for God. However, there are categories. Compulsory, meaning these are solely for Allah. Sunnah, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, offered, but again, he did it for Allah. Nafil, additional prayer. For this, it's not a problem. You can do it, you cannot do it. It's up to you totally. If you do it, you will be rewarded. If you don't do it, you're not going to miss the reward. Now, the actions. All these prayers that you have seen through the slides, all these prayers, the prerequisite for any form of prayer is purification. You need to be in clean state. Meaning, you need to do the ablution, which is the minimum, as the slide shows. And the maximum is bathing, which is the ghusl. How the wudu is done or the ablution is done, you are rinsing your mouth, you are cleaning your nose, then you are washing your hands up until the elbow, then you're also washing your feet, then also you're wiping your head. So these are just the basic things when it comes to ablution. As for the ghusl or bathing, we all know that the whole body needs to be washed. Now, when the purification is done, step by step all these come. Qiyam, which is the standing while facing the direction of Kaaba. Now, Kaaba is the direction that we need to face, all Muslims. That is the direction. Sometimes it can be, in a room which is not straight, sometimes it can be slightly angled, sometimes it can be 90 degrees, sometimes it can be 270, however it feels. Okay? So, standing towards the Kaaba, that is must. Then, takbir, saying Allahu Akbar by raising both hands and putting the right hand above the left hand. Then bowing down. Bowing down, I was wondering what I could do through a student, but a student seems to be busy, so I will do it. Bowing down goes this. As you can see, you're standing here, and this is the level of your back. So this is ruku. Sujood, absolutely to the prostration. You're bending your knees and you're putting your forehead and your nose, the whole face on the ground, while your palms are on the ground along with it. Then comes jalsa, which is the sitting. Then comes tashahud. Tashahud, pointing out the right index finger while sitting, like this or like this. So you have these two forms of pointing out the finger. After all these done, you say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, which means peace be upon you, peace and mercy be upon you, on the right side. Then Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah on the left side. Now there is a reason why. Because we Muslims also believe that we have two angels that are recording good and bad actions. The one that is on our right shoulder is recording the actions that are good. The one on the left shoulder is recording the actions that are evil. So these are so far the slides. And I will show you the album as to how the prayer is done. So this is the qiyam, the one that you have seen standing. And you can see wrong. That is the standing one. And this is the takbir while you're raising your hands. Okay? Now, as you can see the wrongs, they are not. These are the form. And the eyes need to be where your forehead will go. Again, standing position, this is where your hands will be raised. This is the bowing down. Not too much higher, not too much lower. And the way that hands are positioned, exactly on the knees. This is the prostration. You're bending your knees and you are going. You're putting your heads all the way, your face on the ground. This is the sitting, the word jalsa that you've seen. Now, this one comes as tashahud. And while you are doing the tashahud, your eyes need to be on the index finger. That is why the indication is here, the indication is here. Again, the indication is here. So these are not the form. That's about it really. Thank you very much for listening, and I will take any questions that you have relevant to your topic.